Conversation. 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 Conversation.
Ruiner of things. Bendrick's Diet Coke, take 3. Right, good.
Damn you, Spielberg! Magical toilets flying through the sky.
I learned about cactus.
Without finding yourself hilarious.
Oh, that's hard for me.
him. Shyamalan!
Would you like a lemon? Lemon! Lemon! Would you like a lemon?
Hammers!
Take poo! Oh, sorry, I meant two.
And then I'd love you till I make you pop.
Dun dun dun. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, there it is. There it is!
Yeah, I'm in a tree! Ow! We're in love. Jeffrey Chaucer!
There's a cactus in my hair!
I need to not lose my shit.
Yo, I must have, like, fallen on a bullet, and it, like, drove itself into my gut.
Hey, don't worry. You don't have to make up stories here. Save that for court. Save that for court.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers. Bart may be seriously hurt. Could we possibly go ahead of you?
No. I really would rather get this taken care of. No. I really would rather. No.
Excuse me, little lady. The wheelbarrow line is over there. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix. Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me, Mr. Smithers.
Excuse me, little lady.
Excuse me,
Live. Die. Die? Live. 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 Live! Live! Stop! Live! Live!
Jeremy Mange, isn't he strange? But listen to his voice, he's got incredible range.
Ready?
Ready.
Hello? Anyone home? Do you have life insurance? You got your will sorted? Just a few signatures and we can take over all that icky business for you. Will you be there at the end, signing papers, telling your loved ones which ones get the telly and which ones just get to feel ripped off? Unlikely! You're probably going to go mental and think you're an actual fish. Why not sign the papers now? Get that all over and done with while you still can. Yes, there will be problems, but for us, that's our guarantee. Awesome life insurance, awesome with an O. Oh, like I made that up on the spot, but I'm reading it off my paperwork. No more problems for you. Nothing to worry about at all. Yes, it's our problem, but not yours. Erasmus Life Insurance, where the Rasmus is in the... And you won't even have to worry. Leave you alone forever. You'll never see me again. Obviously not. Would I ever go up the stairs or anywhere else where you're not? That's the awesome promise. We can do it really cheap right now if you just sign the paper. What we're really selling here is peace of mind. Can you actually guarantee that your family will know how you want your worldly possessions divided up after you die and split up between all those left alive while you are dead? Grief can do silly things to people. So why not let someone else take care of all that nice business and then you can just go back to living whatever kind of life you want. Judgment free, eventually. There will be problems. It's not even that expensive. You just got to write a blank check and then we'll fill all of the numbery type things. You don't got to worry about nothing. No, want to get into heaven, don't you? How are you going to get into heaven when your family doesn't even know what you've left them? But I can see you're busy, you're not interested, so I'll see you later. Goodbye. What the f-
Will you take a Mount Splashmore?
No.
Will you take a Mount Splashmore?
No.
Will you take us to Mount Splash?
See, it's tricky.
Where did we
because I don't want to like
Where
cut
did
off
we
one of the
come from?
sketches. Where did we come from?
Where did we go?
Don't you dare reference the world's worst song, I swear to God.
Where did we come from?
No. Stop it.
Polyester nose Jim.
See, I appreciate that you didn't just say the song.
Say Cotton Eye Joe.
You complete bastard. This is great. Welcome to the Conversation App podcast. It could get libelous. I don't know. I might say something that gets me sued. I'm just trying to check that like everything's working. Ben, can you give us a 1, 2, 3?
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, well, the joke's on you because that worked. Ha.
I know, that was why it was supposed to... Shut up, Liam.
No, make me. Hi, Ben. This is a comedy
Hi, Liam.
podcast.
How are you doing?
I'm really well.
This is a comedy podcast.
So this is the...
What you been up to in your house?
Stuff in my house. That's weirdly specific. I've been
Here we are in my house again.
I've been sticking my butt out the window and seeing if one of the badgers wants to have a go, but like nothing yet.
Oh yeah, I remember you said you have badgers now.
The badgers and foxes. There's a fox that comes and visits at about 5 o'clock most days. It's really weird. He'll stick his head in the pond, like have a drink, like headbutt a pigeon that's having a wash, and then bugger off. It's weird, but it has become part of our daily routine. Yeah, it's all right. And it's great because it reminds you what the time is, and like when calendar's all screwed up and we don't know what we're doing half the time, it's nice to have that reminder of, hey buddy, it's 5 o'clock and there's a fox outside. Ooh, beep beep. There is a poor network connection. Why was it fine until right then? This is amazing. So you guys just get to watch me try to call Ben. And make it really obvious. Hey, here he is.
More or less.
We were doing so well.
Hey, there he is.
We were doing so well.
He's back.
And now they all know that. Now they all know we use Skype.
We got a full 2 minutes.
We got a full 2 minutes. What happened?
You just disappeared. I don't know.
It said that you disappeared.
Well, it turned off, and I had to open it again. So
okay, fine.
Some shit went down.
Something horrible happened, and several people were maimed in the process.
I mean, I wasn't doing anything. I'm once again.
Maybe that's the problem.
It's a Pokemon event day on a day where we're doing live streams.
Sure. Is that because they do them on Sundays?
They do them on Sundays in the same way that we do this on Sundays.
We could rearrange the podcast day. We could it's not the end of the world if we need to change it for a week so you can go do your Pokemoning. Is there something in your glass?
Yeah, but I've asked you that before. I've asked you that before, and you said no.
Yeah, but I didn't realize it was for Pokemon.
It's all right. It's
Is
a
it
special
all right?
event now.
Okay, it feels special.
It's better than my glass of water, which has bits floating in it.
Sure. I mean, I think sometimes water just has stuff in it, you know?
Like black bits that I can't see how they possibly came out of the tap.
Maybe they came out of you.
These can go... My plant can have another drink today. There you go. You can have the black water bits.
So you could be doing anything. You could just be peeing into the plant.
That's a very quick pee.
Well,
if I had done that.
Small bladder. Thank you.
And then I'd have a smelly plant.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you, Captain Buddy 7 on Twitch, who has sent us some salt. I do appreciate salt. Some salt. It's a little salt emoji.
You can see what's being said. I currently can't.
Yeah, they're all calling you a twat.
Not surprised.
So, yeah, I'm quite good. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76 because it works now.
What?
Yeah, I know. Shockingly, it required Bethesda to port the game out to Steam, and then Steam were like, "Oh, any chance you can fix it?" And they did.
Ah,
yeah.
Well, that's. Is it worth playing now?
I mean, it's gone off sale, so like it's back to being 30 quid or something. So perhaps not. It's all right. It's a little bit janky. Like I bought Laura version so we could play together because that's the kind of person I am. And
fair enough.
Her version, there was a free weekend, so basically everyone could play all weekend for free, to celebrate the Steam port and the fact that we're all going to die alone, I guess. And
Yeah.
her version on that computer there was fine, but then as soon as the free weekend ended, hers started doing the weird glitchy nonsense that my version was doing, like when it was Bethesda, when it was running off the Bethesda version. So like, heck knows what's going on there. Really annoying, but like, yeah, my version works, which is great because I spent the last year trying to get a refund from Bethesda and they're not having any of it, which is probably illegal. But now that they've ported it to Steam, we can all forget about that, which is lovely.
Well, it's good to forget about legality sometimes.
Yeah, it's just annoying that I've had to wait like 6 months for a working product that cost me 50 quid and isn't worth 50 quid now. You literally can't pay that much if you want to. And that leads into one of the first bits of advice I have, but we'll get to that like in the future.
Yeah, let's start the. Shall we start?
Do you want to start the podcast?
I mean, I notice you haven't asked how I am.
Ben.
Doesn't matter, Liam.
No,
Doesn't
Ben.
matter.
Ben.
Doesn't
Seriously, genuinely, if you don't tell me something interesting about your life, I'm just gonna like come to your house and poo on your doorstep.
You're not allowed to do that, Liam.
You can poo where you like. Bojo ain't said anything about
doesn't-
pooing.
That doesn't count as essential travel, does it?
It depends if you need to go.
Or if you want to visit your parents.
I don't want to visit my parents.
260 miles away. Politics.
It's okay. They can't fire Dominic Cummings because Dominic Cummings makes all the decisions in government. Also, don't at midnight Google with safe search off Dom Cum where he shouldn't be. I was trying to look for interesting. Swear to God, like, my brain was not working yesterday. I was trying to find funny images and memes to put in like the thing that's happening underneath me. I don't know if you can see the thing that's happening underneath us, Ben, but it's it's very, very funny. And aptly, there is one about Dominic Cummings right now that I stole from Facebook. I was trying to find like just funny memes to put up, and then my eyes, my precious, precious eyes. So that was my evening. How are you, Ben?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
nice.
realised as soon as I started going, "Hey, you didn't ask how I was," that not much really interesting has happened.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Got any funny quips?
I
You seen anything on the
learned-
internet?
I've learned a couple of things.
Oh yeah, is it about Pokemon Go?
But I think we should possibly put them in the podcasty thing. Should we start the
Okay.
podcasty thing?
We can start the podcast. You
Cool.
think? Do you want to do the intro? Oh, I should say before we actually get into the podcast, if you're watching, like, you can comment. I've not.
Oh, yeah,
I've
comment.
perhaps not made this clear, like in previous live streams, but the whole point of doing a live stream is that you can interact. Even if it's not live, you can leave a comment and we will get a message.
You sound so annoyed. The whole point of
The whole
us doing a live
heckin'
stream
point.
is so you can interact. For God's sake!
It's. I was thinking about how interesting it is, like the difference between doing a live stream and doing like a live like a stage show. And like if you're doing a live stage show, people saying things whilst you're doing your show would be really, really annoying. But like in the live stream, you absolutely want that level of interaction because that's the whole point of doing a live stream, but not a live
Because we
stage
care
show.
about the people who come and listen.
But what is
Because
also
we
worth
love-
saying, thing
we love
one,
you.
absolutely leave comments. We're on Twitch and YouTube. Just leave your comments and we will add them to the discussion. Today we're talking about advice, good, bad, or just, I don't know, advice. Stuff that you've been told, stuff that you've told people, stuff that you've seen people tell people. Anything relating to advice, do let us know, and we will incorporate it into this dumb thing that we're doing. That's thing one. Thing two, if you're going to a live stage show, shut up, put your phone away.
Unless it's Jimmy Carr and he says, shout stuff at me.
Yeah.
Unless the comedian or whoever you're going to see says, make some noise.
Yeah.
Or heckle me.
Or if you're specifically invited to, shut up.
Shut the fuck
Shut up. And what's really weird is I've gone to a few like live podcast recordings and comedy shows for people who are known for being podcasters, or not necessarily first and foremost, but that's how they've gotten big through podcasts. The audiences treat the live show as if they're just washing the dishes and listening to the podcast. So they're making their own funny ass quips.
Oh yeah.
And just talking during the show. And it's you garbage humans. We're a terrible race and we don't deserve podcasts, I guess. So do you want to do the intro or shall I?
I'll do the intro if you
Clearly
like.
it
Just
annoys
on that on that sort of topic, I remember going to see Ninja Sex Party.
Oh yeah.
Who I've only ever seen on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like on my phone or my laptop or PlayStation or something. And I was watching them sing. And obviously, stuff like that, it's okay to have your phone out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Take a couple of pictures, maybe a 30-second video. Don't have it out all the time.
No.
But I realised that for about 2 minutes, I hadn't been watching the show. I'd been watching the dude holding his phone up in front of me. I'd been watching the show on his phone.
Yeah.
Because that's how I was so used to...
Yeah.
Observing, interacting with this, that I went, they're right in front of you.
Yeah, but the
Shift your
resolution's
eyes
better,
2
isn't
degrees
it?
to the right, and you can see them.
Yeah, but the resolution's better. Watching on someone's phone, you don't have to focus in the thing in the distance. You can just watch the guy over your shoulder. And
I don't know if that's necessarily the thing to take away from this.
Our eyes aren't 4K. That's all I'm saying.
Well, why do we have 4K TVs then if we can't see it?
So you can see
That's
it from
just
further.
stupid.
You can see it from further away.
Is that genuinely it?
I think so. It sounds
I realised
right,
that
doesn't
I've
it?
bought a 4K TV specifically because I thought that I would be able to see it better.
Do you not
So it
find
just means that I can see it better from further away.
Do you not find that, like, when you look at 4K, you can't... It's hard to focus on the entire picture. You need to sort of look at one area. Do you find that?
It depends. I don't know. I've got a PS4 Pro, so I've got something that's designed
Bragging.
to... Well, yeah. Why not?
Yeah, screw you.
Yeah, I'll brag. It cost me a lot of money. So, you know, I bought it, so I was like, hey, now I can do the thing. But... Yeah, so when it's meant to be in 4K, I think it looks pretty.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like nose blindness. You'll get used to the pretty relatively quickly,
Right.
so it's almost unappreciative.
Yeah.
Unappreciated, even.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know what you
let's
mean.
start the podcast.
Let's do it. Do you want to do the intro?
I will do the intro indeed.
What's
Hi, how are you doing?
Sorry, I was going to say, what's the timestamp for you? Can you see? Don't worry if you can't see.
Piece of shit. Ruining 13:30
Oh, me too.
ish.
Off you go.
Right. Hello.
Sorry, I'm just worried I'm going to interrupt you again.
Stop interrupting me then, you piece of anus.
Wow, which piece?
Hello and welcome to... Oh, for fuck's sake, Liam.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm done.
We're not meant to swear within the first minute.
No, that's
You're already getting on
something
tits.
else. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay. Hello and welcome to the Conversation Hat podcast. A basically comedy podcast for creatives, artists, and awful human beings.
Creatives and artists. Those two
Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it?
different groups of people. I think it's...
Well, I couldn't...
What about
I couldn't
geeks?
remember. I don't care, Liam. That's Liam. He
do geeks
picks
not-
and moans.
Do geeks
and
not get
he's
a
a
podcast?
wanker.
Do geeks not
My
get a
name's
podcast?
Ben.
Hi, Ben.
I am less of a wanker, but apparently I'm in trouble for forgetting to say geeks or whatever.
You need the audio tags, apparently, according to this one blog I read. Thank you.
Artists, nerds. Yeah, this is our live stream episode, so we've been chatting on our live streams, Twitch and YouTube, for about half an hour now. Not about much interesting, but it's unedited, and this whole episode will be. You're listening to the Conversation Hat podcast version of the Conversation Hat live stream. Is that clear? I hope not. Liam, what are we talking about today?
I was just going to say, if listeners are wondering how we could get this so seamless and professional sounding, that's the magic of editing. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about advice that we have been given, advice that we have found through the wonders of the internet, or advice that we found in films.
Or just sort of overheard.
Stuff we've heard. That's it, innit?
Yeah. Stuff we've heard.
So this was Ben's idea, and I like it a lot. And the goal was for each of us to think of 5 bits of advice that we've been given, and then find another 5 bits of advice. I have not done that, but I've gotten very close. I'm proud of how close I've gotten, because I really struggled for like 3 days on this.
Well, if that's okay, because it was a bit of a weird thing to suddenly thrust upon you, and over like the last 5 minutes build up to starting the show, I have just little 5 or 6 bits have popped in my head, so we've got enough to chat about.
Amazing.
I'll lend you some of my advice.
So I can
necessary.
hopefully be where you are now. That would be amazing.
Sure.
Do you want to go first, because you have more than me?
Yeah, well, I've got... Shall we go with... Do
you want to give us a brief...
Let's go.
Yeah, just tell us where it's from, and then tell us the advice,
the things
maybe?
that I've done, I've got 5 that have either I found in pop culture, or things that have just been almost like wives' remedies, or whatever it is. Like things that you've heard
remedies.
What is it?
Wives' remedies.
Wives' tale.
It's wives' remedies.
Like
it's wives' remedies now.
Is that it? Cool.
It's old wives' tales, I think.
Home remedies and old
Home
wives'
remedies.
tales. That's what I was getting mixed up.
Wow.
That like things you've heard throughout your life.
Yeah.
And the other 5, I've gone with the theme of mothers.
Ooh.
Because
and their remedies.
And their remedies for the old wives.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm gonna start with, because I haven't even told you this,
Oh.
the inspiration for the advice things. We are both fans of the comedian Jade Addams, are we not?
Yeah.
We've gone to see her live, Serious Black Jumper. It was very good.
Enjoyed her
It's on
bit
Amazon.
part in Good Omens.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was very good in Good Moment. Her food show she's got, that's good.
Oh, Crazy Delicious.
Delicious. Crazy Delicious, yeah.
That's a laugh.
She recently, within the last couple of weeks, put up a YouTube video where she asked her Twitter following for the best bit of advice. She's put them all into a video. It was a very good video, so I thought, hey,
steal it.
Just
straight up steal it. Yeah, I love it.
Well, it's not stealing.
Yeah. We're crediting.
I
It's all
thought
good.
that was a good format.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it now. We didn't come up with all of it. We've just tried to take something that we liked and get it as close but legally distinct as possible.
While still pointing out the source material, therefore it doesn't matter how legally distinct it is.
We're
But
essentially
I like
Wikipedia.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
One of my first bit of advice is one bit that I've heard there, and I've actually stuck to since hearing it.
Okay. How long ago was it?
It sounds really stupid. A couple of weeks.
Okay.
So it's not like I've stuck to it for years, but
sure. And like a couple of weeks where you've been basically in your own house.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very, very simple one. It's make your bed every morning.
Okay.
Because then at least you've got something nice to have at the end of the day. It's a little bit, it makes you feel nicer, more tidy. And I've been doing that, and I think that really helps. Because, at the end of the day, if you've been having a bad day or whatever, it's nice to go, you don't want to look and go, oh, there's the bed, the messy, crappy thing.
Yeah.
I did that for years. But no, going, there's the bed. That's what I've been after. It's a nicer way. Sorry,
this is the annoying thing about not being in the same room. I'm just going to talk over you from time to time. I can see the appeal, like, especially while we're trapped indoors, essentially, or we bloody should be. Don't go down the park, you bellend.
Yeah.
While you're trapped inside, like, just being around, like, most of us are like working class. We're going to have crappy little houses or flats. So like, you're going to be near your bed. You're in an interesting position of your bed being above you. So you don't get to see your bed unless you actively try to find your bed. Hey, look at that.
It's up there, folks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I quite like that. If you're just going about your day, it's quite nice to have a bed that is made. I'm a lazy piece of crap. So what about that?
Well, I also am a lazy piece of crap, but it takes like 20 seconds because I just sort of fold the mattress back.
Yeah.
And just put the pillows in the right place.
Yeah.
And it does. So it's, a couple of seconds while you're getting out of bed.
Yeah.
And it just does make it look nicer. It's just nice. It sort of makes me understand why Mum was always going, "Make your bed" when you're little.
Right. Yeah.
She doesn't sound like that, but
doesn't she?
So yeah,
that's cool.
I don't think so. Yeah, so it's just a little thing that improves your day.
It's the kind of thing that I would love to do, but I'm just such a garbage person. Truly. Like, I would love to be a better person, but I'm just not. I'm not going to put in the work. I wish I was, but I'm not.
But okay. But I would advise that you do.
That's the point of advice. So thanks for that.
The point of this.
So I've got that one piece of advice that I've been given now that I can add to my list of advice that I've been given. Good stuff.
Well, that's kind of cheating. But
it's absolutely cheating. Cheaters always prosper is advice that I've just given you.
I think that's more of a proverb, and that you've got it wrong.
Isn't proverb just advice, but from a while ago?
I think it's advice said in a particularly weird way.
So, like with a toga and like cement blocks with Sharpie on them.
I think it's one of those things where it's like, a watched pot never boils.
Factually inaccurate.
Right, but it's something that adds... people are messaging people, and I wish that they wouldn't.
You're never going to stop them. There's so many.
This is why I hate Chrome.
Right.
Because it just goes, hey, Amazon's doing some shit.
Right.
Facebook's doing some shit.
Sure.
I don't care about this shit.
Have you enabled Chrome extensions?
I don't know, Liam.
That could be your mistake.
So anyway, yes, I apologise if you can just keep hearing.
We can't.
Oh, cool! I can remove everything. Great.
Did you not? Okay. Have you just been agreeing with things?
Except the Facebook going ba-da-ba-dum. Never mind.
You can get rid of that, but it's in your Facebook settings.
Ugh, piece of shit.
Yeah, that's.
Anyway.
What
advice have you got? Anything bed related? Tell me of your advice.
Don't order AAA games. They don't
explain to me what a AAA game is. Just
the big ones. So like anything by Bethesda, anything by Epic Games, just like the big game studios. So Horizon Zero Dawn is a AAA game. Anything Assassin's Creed is a AAA game. Fallout. I'm looking around my house. Anything Blizzard. So Overwatch, Warcraft, like the big games. And then you've sort of got You've got like your middle range, professional but not very well known games. So like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice would be one of those. And then you've got indie games, and you can have super popular indie games like Super Meat Boy or Catastronauts, anything like that. And then you've got like indie games that are just people throwing stuff up on Newgrounds. So AAA games refers to like the big, Epic, Blizzard, Bethesda. Yeah, them lot. So thing is, AAA games try to get money in advance of games being released, and they try to give you like stuff in exchange for that. So like you get a mount, or you get a cosmetic skin, or you get loot boxes or whatever if you order in advance.
Yeah, those always seem stupid.
But the thing is, they're obviously doing that because they want you to do it, and that hints at like an inherent problem, because AAA game studios should not need your money. Like indie indie game developers like absolutely should be doing Kickstarters, and they should be like trying to crowdsource money and get pre-release money, because it's just going to be one dude in his mum's basement like working his ass off to do some stupid passion project. That is absolutely the stuff that you should be pre-ordering, because it's going to be pure and it's going to be creative, but he doesn't have the budget, or they don't have the team behind them to actually properly pay to get any of this stuff done. So you pre-order stuff in order to get the game better before release. That's the purpose of a pre-order. So you shouldn't have to pre-order a AAA game, especially if it's Bethesda, because the game won't work and then they won't refund you.
I do feel that, like, you'd buy a game and get it all.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I like DLC.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slightly against you here. I love Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah, me too.
It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
And then when they brought the DLC out for, I think, 15 quid, it was like another third of the game on top.
Yeah.
But when it's like Resident Evil 2, these are two games that I have posters of on my wall.
Yes.
You can, for like 5 quid, buy all of the weapons that you would unlock.
Right.
But that's the reward.
But with that specific
You're paying to... It's like, you know, get this rank whilst completing the game, and you unlock this, you unlock that.
Yeah. But
that just takes the challenges out and takes away some of the game element.
Is that an older version of Resident Evil, or is that one of the newer ones?
This is the Resident Evil 2 remake.
So
I don't understand when games do that.
I think in that specific example, that's a game that like people would have played the non-remastered, like the original version of, and presumably completed it. So when you complete those games, am I right in thinking you then get New Game Plus, where you start again with another character, but you have all the stuff unlocked? Is that right? Or am I conflating that with a different game?
I think you can get New Game Plus. Well, it's sort of New Game Plus, like the weapons will be in an item box.
Right,
your little storage box.
That could be the thing they're aiming for there. So, like, if you completed the game when you were a kid,
sort of 4 times to properly complete it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like that takes. It would make it easier. I may even be able to finish it. If I were to do this.
I basically agree. I agree with your point, but I think in that specific example, I think that could just be, oh, this game's been out for some time. Let's, if you'd want to have the New Game Plus experience, just give us a $5 and then like have the guns. Like, I don't think that's so bad, because it's a remaster, and I think you've got to like serve the gamers, and if the gamers are like, well, I actually only want to play it if I get like, I don't want to have to put this much time in it because it's a bit of nostalgia in it. But like your point with DLC, that's a tricky one, isn't it? Because if I've bought a game, I don't want to then feel like I'm missing out on the same game because I don't want to spend another tenner on it down the line.
Sure.
If it's something a bit more indie, like 2 Point Hospital, I really love. They're churning out DLC quite often, and they're only a couple quid. And because they're like a little bit more independent than, you know, the AAA companies, like, I'll throw them a couple of quid to get a new kind of rug. Screw it. That game's a real time sink, and I love it. But yeah, with it's hard in it, because like I pre-ordered Fallout 4, which perhaps I shouldn't have done, but with Fallout, it's a franchise I really like, and I sort of didn't really care what Fallout 4 was going to be, and I like Fallout 4 more than most people do, but I got the season pass, which gave me all the DLC, so I was like fine with that, because when they released new stuff, you just get it for free, which is dope.
Okay.
But then that put me in.
It's dope.
That put me in the wrong frame of mind for Fallout 76, which I pre-ordered and then didn't work. It didn't function as a game, and it wasn't just this game.
I remember you being cross about this.
Oh, I'm still angry about it. It's just that my face doesn't show that. It was so broken. It wasn't even that this isn't objectively a very good game from a narrative perspective or from a gameplay perspective. No, it didn't load. It would not work. I could load a character, but I could not walk around the world or do stuff because the game broke.
Wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So, and of course they wouldn't offer a refund because them saying that you downloading and installing it is the same as you buying a t-shirt and putting it on. It's like, yeah, but it turns out this t-shirt
doesn't fit.
Is underpants.
Is crappy.
Yeah.
It's underpants.
So the fact that this has been on my ass is irrelevant to the fact that this is not a t-shirt.
This hat is a pair of shoes.
Not if you put it on your feet. So that's my advice. AAA games companies do not need your money. I will not be pre-ordering a game from Bethesda again, like, at all. I probably won't be buying any more Bethesda games. Like, my annoyance...
Is this all because of 76?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's because they made some mistakes with Fallout 4, and rather than trying to essentially make an apology game, like by making a really good game and listening to fans and such, they went the other way and they did something that they thought would get the money, and essentially trying to bring like a Fortnite game with a Fallout skin, which of course now we have Fortnite kids playing Fallout and like being real dicks about it, rather than nice, lovely people having a lovely Fallout time. I don't know. It's just I've lost faith in, like, maybe if Todd Howard gets fired or moves on, like, I might change my mind, because now that it's important to mention, I think actually that Fallout 76 has now ported to Steam, which means that it works. I can actually play this game I spent 50 quid on, even though it's on sale for £26, whatever. Like, I can actually play it. It is a good game. It's a little bit janky in places, and it's not perfect, but for a Bethesda game, it's pretty good, and there's some really, really fun bits in there. It's just that I had to wait 6 months to find that out. So I'm not going to pre-order the new Skyrim. I probably won't buy it at all. If Bethesda goes under and someone else buys the rights to all of their stuff, I might buy it then. Might not. Don't know. I'm done talking now.
I got that out. When did 76 come out?
It was like November last year or something.
No,
I think.
Surely it was longer than that.
Let's have a look. Oh no. These dates. Yeah, November 14th.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Whoop. Oh, you just exploded everything.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I have to say that what I thought, this game is so bad, or has annoyed you so much, that in what I thought was going to be quite, maybe a heartwarming, an encouraging episode during these times, where we could, make people feel better, perhaps a little sunshine. You are still so cross.
Yeah. Because I spent
about this fucking game.
I spent
Don't get me wrong,
50 quid on a game that I couldn't play for
stuff.
6 months, and it's annoyed me.
I'm still pissed off about spending 50 quid on the haircut at the place that your lady Laura recommended, and I got absolutely nothing that I wanted. They made me wait for an extra half an hour, and they charged me 6 quid for a bit of hair gel.
Yeah, we don't know what you did there.
I don't know what I did there, but I'm still pissed off about it.
Okay.
Advice bit number 2.
You should buy Fallout. You should get your Fallout. You should buy Fallout 76. I think you really like it. That's my advice to you. Don't pre-order it.
Is it really?
It's okay.
Don't pre-order the game that's already out.
Yeah,
cool.
That'd be foolish. That'd be a big waste of your time. Go on. What have you got?
Shall we go with another? Okay, so I'm gonna do a mother one now.
Can I let people peek behind the veil for a second? I love that we were talking about, do we have enough stuff for a show here? And you were like, yeah, we might not have 10 bits of advice each, but if we give it 3 minutes on each, like we'll fill an hour. I mean, that was 12 minutes on Fallout 76, so I think we're well on the way.
Yeah, I've realised that we've been going about half an hour and we've got one each done.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Right, go on, yours. Go.
I mean, all right, calm down. This is a half bit of advice.
Love it.
This is just sort of funny because, as I said in the preamble before the podcast started, we are doing this on a day where it's a Pokemon Go Community Day. So if you know, I've got it on in the background, but you're my main focus, of course. How could I ignore this beautiful face?
Thank you so much. I'm more
I
concerned
was talking
about
about
the
mine
viewers.
reflected in the webcam, but you're pretty as well.
You're talking to yourself in the
Um,
third person again. Are you on your tablets?
Shut up, us.
Stupid them.
But yeah, there was this little bit. It's about a certain Pokemon, and it's just saying, "Wow, even this Pokemon reminds us to stay hydrated." Thanks, Pokemon. So I liked that just randomly it was encouraging us to stay hydrated.
Is your advice stay hydrated?
Yeah, that's what it just said on Pokemon Go. That's not a proper one. That's just a funny, hey, look, it said this.
I mean,
we're
I've
talking
written it
about
in the
advice.
notes now, so like that's one of them.
All right, well, that's not the main one that I'm doing.
Okay.
Because I've gone global with this, with mothers.
Okay. Global Mother. Is it Mother Earth?
No, but that would have been a really good thing if I just got all of my things were 10 mothers. We could call the episode Mother Earth or 10 mothers.
The Mother Load. Bit sexual.
I don't like that one.
I thought you wouldn't.
So we have let's go with I asked my grandma, what advice? What
Double
one bit of
mother.
advice would you give?
A double
She is a
mother.
double mother.
Yeah.
She's a mother. She's my dad's mum.
Does your
So
dad have a
she's-
sister?
She does. We do. Auntie Henry.
Does Auntie Henry have any kids?
Yes.
Double mother.
And actually,
She's not your double mother.
Auntie Henry's daughter has a child.
Triple mother.
So grandma's a triple mum.
Wow. Doesn't
try
sound
mum.
as rude as double mother.
No, a tri-mum is less. It's more of a sort of a suggestion.
Yeah.
A double mother sounds,
Double mother.
you know,
Double mother, toil and trouble.
sounds dedicated.
Does. Go on, what she said.
So yes, grandma, tri-mum. Said how she is a grandma, so she is not her. She didn't realise why I sort of giggled when she said, "Live your best life." I half expected it to be followed with, "Have things that spark joy." But
Yeah. Live
no,
life, love.
She's very Christian.
Okay.
So her advice were, live your best life, which is a good advice in of itself.
Sure, yeah.
And do anything you can for other people.
Okay.
And then she had she paused for a beat or two, and then went, "Yeah, all other people," as if in her brain she was like, "Even them."
The gays,
Yeah,
the
I
blacks.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I suppose. The Irish?
Even
Yeah.
sorry.
The Irish? I was just getting specific with who she might not like.
I think you were getting sort of borderline race.
It's not me
yeah,
saying
no,
it. I'm suggesting that your double mum is racist. You've got to make
Triple
that
mum.
clear. Triple mum. So,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
she's
she's
your
double.
double mum. She's
She's
your
my double
daddy
mum.
mum, which is like 1.5 mothers.
That's very weird.
Which specific
don't
group
like
of
daddy.
people? Which specific group of people do you think she wasn't including? Was it gays?
Well, the way that I saw it was possibly people who you don't think deserve, like people who've been dicks to you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, those are the people that you don't necessarily want to be nice to or do things for.
Tories.
But then this made me think of a Jim Jeffries thing.
Right.
It was when he was talking about Donald Trump being elected, before he was elected. And he was talking about hate and love and all of this stuff. And he says that it sounds very hippie. But if there's someone you hate and they hate you, if you just start showing that person nothing but love and being nice to them, then either they might not show love or respect or anything to you, but then people will just see them as what they are, and that would be them being an asshole.
Yes, that's true.
So even if the person you don't like, you should still be nice to them.
Yeah.
Because then hopefully they will be nice to you and everyone gets on. And if they don't, hey, you're still being nice. You've not lost anything.
Yeah,
They're
you're
the
not in
ones-
the wrong. You're not in the wrong.
You're doing your best. You're living your best life, and you're being a better person.
Even if they are gay, or Dominican, or whoever.
Okay,
leave it in the comments.
I said my grandma's Christian. I didn't say she was a dick.
Well, you implied it. Leave it in the comments. What specific group of people does Ben's double mum not like?
No, I like my grandma. We like that grandma.
Yeah, you're white. We can move on. It's all good.
Just throw it out there. I don't want my grandma to be known as what Liam seems to be implying.
I just think all old people are probably hateful.
Well, she's the exception that proves the rule.
Sure.
It's quite fun because she actually goes and not now at the moment, obviously, but she, for one of her church mornings, she would go and help feed the elderly.
Right. How old is she?
Some of these people are 10 years younger than she is.
Amazing. Okay, I like 12%. Take it back.
She's won an MBE,
right,
for doing charitable work in the community for the last 60 years.
You can be racist and have an MBE.
True, but she's not, so that makes her better.
Okay, now I'm like 14%. Sorry.
My grandma, better than a racist with an OBE.
As far as we know.
Yeah, I can't say the things that I don't know about her. I don't know. So she
that's the nature of knowledge, isn't it?
She's lovely.
Yeah,
but,
fine.
you know.
Does she like fig rolls?
She probably makes fig rolls.
Ah, she's a wrong un. Okay,
I don't know. I've never had a fig roll.
Have you not?
I have, and it's just a bit weird and mushy.
Pretty bad, man. Here's some good advice. This is kind of a silly one, so I don't feel like we necessarily need the full 3 minutes here. Watch out where the huskies go and don't you eat that yellow snow.
I mean, that's that. I cannot deny that the "do not eat yellow snow" passed through my head while I was writing some of these things down.
It's a Frank Zappa lyric. And good advice. Watch out where the huskies go. Don't you eat that yellow snow. Because it'll be dog pee. I mean, shouldn't eat snow anyway. Comes from the sky. That's where pigeons live. It
also makes it... People think that if you eat snow when you're dehydrated, you'll get water, but that's bad for you. Because it lowers your temperature so much and it freezes you and makes it all bad. You need to melt it first, even though it will still be proper cold.
That's good advice. You should put that on a t-shirt. You should put that on the Pokemon Go Twitter feed next time we're frozen over. It sounded like I was being facetious, but truly that's good advice. I will remember that if I'm dehydrated in a snowy environment, which I think is unlikely because I'm not adventurous.
It is unlikely. Another thing about that is if you need when you need to poo,
right?
If you've got like a plastic bag or something,
I have a toilet.
Poo into the plastic. No, in your cold, dehydrated situation.
Gotcha.
Poo into the plastic bag and then hold it and it keeps your hands warm.
Huh.
Gross.
Yeah.
But you're not wasting any warm then, are you?
It's very true.
Yeah.
Do you want me to skip ahead to a slightly more serious one? Or do you want
Let's
to go
for a more serious one, yeah.
Then
I'll crack out a funny one.
Nice. This is one that it's the sort of thing that like your parents will say when you don't want to go to a school disco or something, but like actually I've sort of realized recently is genuinely good advice. You stand out more by not taking part. Have you heard that one?
I've not heard that one. No, that's not something that I've been told or that I've come across in my life. Please do go into deeper detail.
So I sort of realized this recently, and like the whole thing is to do with if you're in a situation where you're not comfortable or you feel awkward or like it's a party and you don't want to dance because you're worried about looking like a knob. The thing is, you are going to stand out and look like a knob if you go out of your way to not take part because you feel awkward. So the whole thing is sometimes it's better to just get involved and opt in if you're worried about standing out. Because like in a room of dancing people, the one person that isn't dancing is going to look like a weirdo. That's more noticed. So if you're worried about looking foolish, sometimes you just got to do it. It's dangerous advice because like there's the whole undercurrent of peer pressure and stuff. So like, I think it's important to clarify if it's a situation where you're worried about looking stupid.
Yeah, this is not a you don't want to do something, do it.
Yeah, popularity is everything. You should do all the stuff. No, it's just about if you're feeling awkward, sometimes the way to not stand out is to do the thing you're worried about or the thing you feel a little anxious about.
So is this the similar sort of vein as if you have your phone out on the dance floor, just wherever you are, if it's a party or a club or a pub or anything, if you've got your phone out when you're on the dance floor, everyone's going to be looking at this knob with his phone out?
I guess so. Yeah. What do you mean? Like, if you're trying to like not take part, and,
if
like,
you're trying
retreating
to
into
not
your
take
phone?
part, then you're drawing more attention to you.
That's kind of like, that's a nice like literal version of it. Yeah, like the phone, like the light of it is like going to draw your attention because you've got a flashlight on your face. Whereas if you were just like not doing that and just like giving a half-assed wiggle, then like you're not going to stand out and look dumb. And this is coming from someone who like actively hates dancing and social interaction, but like I sort of realized this a couple of years ago when I was having to go to like a lot of arts events and marketing events, and like you get a very specific kind of person there who doesn't seem to have any self-awareness, and like I have too much self-awareness, so it's quite tricky to then make the decision to opt in and have a good time. But then when you do that, it is just easier. So it only took me 30 years to realize that sometimes it's just better to opt in. So that's kind of the thing that like you get told as a kid, and you're like, piss off, Dad. You weren't here when I was growing up. You can't tell me to go to the disco. You might run away again, asshole. Yes.
I think that whilst I was trying to think of things, I think you've sort of touched on, because if you'll have more people possibly notice you not doing something than if you are doing the thing that necessarily makes you think, the uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
Again, this is a very specific thing. If you feel uncomfortable when someone's saying have sex with me, obviously say no.
Yes,
this is a
please.
different sort of thing. This is a dance floor. This is a confidence thing opposed to anything else.
If I'm going to have sex with someone, I'm not worried about looking silly because the lights will be off.
Well, maybe it's on the middle of a dance floor and you got your phone out.
I do this thing with my tongue that'll distract you, so it's fine. That was TMI. Please talk.
Yeah, it was. So with that, maybe just get up and go and dance, because not only then, hey, you're dancing, it would boost the confidence, and then you might go and do it again. You may get rid of the self-consciousness, the fear of doing the thing. That may just go away, which is an improvement. I was thinking of possibly putting on the list, do something every day that scares you.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, context, don't jump out of a plane unless you got a parachute. But, those things, then the thing that you do, if you keep doing them, they won't scare you.
Yeah.
Which, probably going to make you a better, stronger, happier person.
Don't do amateur surgery on your own eyeballs, though. I think that's quite important.
Yeah, you've got to use some common sense in this.
Don't know about all that. Good stuff. Do you have a serious one? Or a serious one? Do you have an actual one?
I do have an actual one. I don't know if you'd necessarily deem it serious. Which one I'm going to... So we've had mums. Let's go for a...
Guns. Mums, guns, and bums. There's a good show.
I am... I've got some stupid ones on here.
Lovely.
So I'm going to go with... water the soil, not the plant. It's not funny, but it's advice that because I like plants. I have some of my own. I used to water them when I was
literally. Are you just taking the literal advice here?
Oh no, it is literal advice. Some of these things I'm just having as literal advice.
I don't think I think there's a literal aspect to it, but I don't think it's entirely literal. I think it's kind of allegorical.
I'm talking about literal gardening. If you watered the soil, then the plant gets the soil. If you water the leaves, then you get all sunburnt on it.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that for another 2.5 minutes? Or do you want to
I
go
mean, I don't.
allegorical?
Hey, we could always just say that is that's a thing of saying, things have different needs. You need to make sure that you know how to take care of something before you try to take care of it.
Now we're talking.
Perhaps if you're trying to do something scary, something
Yeah.
each day that scares you, you should make sure that you know what the fuck you're doing.
Buy the right kind of scalpel before you do amateur eye surgery. 'Cause
Or
if
at
you go
least
at it
watch
with
a
a hat,
YouTube video about
yeah,
it.
at least with your other eye. Maybe don't wear an eye patch on one eye whilst doing surgery on the other eye, because then you can't see what you're doing. I think there's. I think the direction you went with it is good. I think, like, yeah, if you're going to do something, you're probably going to need to know a bit more about how to do that thing. The obvious may not be the way. I think maybe there's something about preparing your fundamentals, maybe. So, like, sometimes going back to the drawing board. I'm possibly reading into this too much, but that's kind of how I went
I
with
think
it.
that you are, because I was literally just saying don't water the leaves of your plants because they might get hurt. But we have managed, or more to the point, you have encouraged us to turn it into a thing where, you could see it as a bit more of advice if you ever hear that
I
little
mean, that's
wisdom nugget again.
there's like, from a musical angle, just as an example, like when I'm practicing guitar or writing music or whatever, like sometimes if you think of the leaves as being like the very showy off things and the roots as being like the fundamentals, often I find myself going to the fundamentals to write good sounding music or to practice technical stuff, because if you do like the really fancy stuff all the time, you may have like some fundamentals that you have missed or you haven't developed as you should. So that's how
Sure.
I read that piece of advice. But also, yeah, like, don't water the leaves because it'll get sunburned.
I like that through this, particularly that one, because as soon as I said it, before I said it, I even looked and went, "Wow, this is just stupid." Because it was a good idea when I wrote it down, but it's just stupid when I looked at that. I like that even something like that, we've been able to put a little spin on it so it could mean other things.
Put a bow on it. That's what we do. We talk.
So maybe that one should be as if you think about stuff, it might not be what it was to begin with. Except we should word that better.
Hang on.
Let's ignore.
No, what was that exact quote? Because I'm going to use that. If we think about stuff, it might not be
If
what
we think about, I can't.
I'm going to put a timestamp and go back and fetch that. That was like 52:50 or something. Okay. This is the
Put that in
last.
as a sound clip.
Absolutely. This is the last piece of actual genuine advice that I've been given over the years, and it is a little more literal, like your one. And it's just take free education.
Yeah.
When I was wrapping up my GCSEs, I did not want to go to college. I didn't see the heckin' point. I just wanted to go out into the world, get a job, do my own thing, because I didn't have a bloody clue what it is I wanted to do with my life. I hadn't worked out music or media at that point, so like,
Sure.
I didn't see the point in choosing 4 subjects to then study for 2 years if I didn't know what I actually wanted to do. So my plan was just go out into the world, find a job, like literally just work at a supermarket for a couple of years, work on myself, work out what I wanted to do whilst like I didn't have to worry about paying rent because I was still living with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
But it was actually my parents in the end that were like, this is 2 years of free education. Sure, you don't know what you want to do, but like you might stumble across something that you want to do in these 4 subjects. You might just have a fun time and make some friends. You might just learn more about academia or like studying itself. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, so take it while it's free rather than you don't have a plan. So like, you might not come up with a plan after 2 years working in a supermarket, so take the education while it's free, because in this specific example you can't go back like the second you hit 18, you have to start paying for stuff. So you may as well take it while it's free. You can like make that allegorical if you want. Don't feel like you have to. Don't this one.
I agree with that because it's something that yeah, I mean, I don't know if people. I still have friends who are doing master's degrees, who are doing dissertation. Shout out to all my buddies who have handed in their dissertations recently. I've seen within the last few days, people have been pressing the button, and that's their work's done for however many years they've been working on that. But yeah, people doing PhDs, masters. I don't know if they still feel like, I wish. I mean, they're still in it, education. So
yeah, but they're paying for it now, aren't they?
They are paying for it now, but it's because they went to those few years of college, or sixth form, and all of that stuff. I mean, I went to sixth form. I was not well at the time.
Yeah.
I do wish that I'd stuck with it, because I was told that I was going to get not good enough grades to go to the second year.
Okay.
So I didn't go to the second year, but then it turned out that I got one grade above what I needed to get in, which was like 2 or 3 grades above what they thought I was going to get.
Interesting.
So that's really upsetting that I didn't finish that, because if I'd finished that, then I could have gone on to college, university, do all these other things.
Yeah.
And I wish that I had stuck at college and gone through all that stuff. Again, as
That's
I said,
really
I wasn't
interesting.
well, so I couldn't especially do that, even if I had realised that it's something that I really did want to do. It's something that's difficult to go back. Because now, I have a job, I could pay for college or university, but then I wouldn't have time to do my job. And then I'd still have rent to pay.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to get much help with that because I'd be a student.
Yeah.
So it's really, I mean, if you can go back to school, do it.
It's
That's
interesting.
what I'd say. If you have chance to learn more, then learn more.
That's really interesting.
Because it's always good.
When I was at sixth form, I too was not well, and had basically decided to not do the second year. Basically, I wasn't well, and like I screwed up my first set of exams. So the end result was I could go back to sixth form, do the second year, but I would have to study subjects that I didn't have any interest in. Like the only one I passed was photography, and at the time I just didn't give a crap about photography because I didn't like the teacher. He wasn't a very nice dude. So I didn't want to have to do another year of that crap. And that was sort of the point where I realised, music could be an option, but I didn't have specific music grades, so I couldn't study it at sixth form. So that was a point again where I was like, I don't know why I should do this, but I did the opposite, and like I ended up studying photography for about 2 months before I basically said to the school, if you keep me in photography, I'm going to fail. I have decided I'm just not going to try. So you could either switch me to something I actually want to do, or you could have a bad grade. And that was fun because they caved. And I didn't do very well with my second year in any of the subjects.
Perhaps not the best takeaway from this.
Well, no, the thing is, like, because I got to study subjects that I actually liked, I got more out of them. Like, now, at sixth form, the stuff that I would have learnt in that second year of photography wouldn't have helped with what I'm doing now with visual storytelling, film and photography and stuff, and live streaming. Just wouldn't have helped because I don't need to develop film. But the stuff that I learned in the second year, or for example, philosophy, this sounds really wanky, but actually like being able to critique source materials and like think for myself literally comes in handy every single day. And if I hadn't have studied that second year of philosophy, I wouldn't have that sort of critical thinking ability that I have now, because for like 15, 16-year-old Liam was an idiot. I mean, 17, 18, 19-year-old Liam wasn't much better, and I'm still basically a garbage human, as we've established. But, like, at least I'm a garbage human with critical thinking abilities. So that's what I got out of it. I didn't have employable grades. I literally got my first job because I was persistent. I've told this story before. I got the job at Oddbins because I went in a second time to harass the manager, and the other guy only went in once. And it's true that, like, to an extent, your grades don't matter because you could do really well in your exams, but if you're a garbage person, you're not going to get any jobs. So it's better to be a good person and to, like, have a reasonably broad range of skills to draw from, and education isn't going to necessarily supply that, but it is free. And sixth form was the most fun 2 years of my entire life. I miss it every day. It was great. I was drunk the whole time. Don't do that, but it was fun. So for nothing else, party.
And
don't listen to me, for the love of God. Don't take any of my advice. It's very important.
Well, I think you should take advantage of being that's what you do with your life. You're there learning.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn languages at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think I'm making progress. Then I'm like, oh look, I've learned 200 words and X amount of phrases. Oh, I've only been learning this for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Imagine if I had 2 hours every single day. I mean, granted, right now, I probably could do 2 hours every single day, but it wouldn't be as engaging as it would have been when I was learning it at school or college or university.
Because there's something about being in that environment that means you learn better because you focus better, which is why, like, at the moment, young people are really struggling to engage with lessons because they're in their home environment. Their home environment is where they eat, sleep, and crap. Like, so that's what that environment is for. It's for relaxing and pooping rather than focused learning.
Do you watch The Last Leg?
Not dedicated, but like I watch it if it's on.
I would always recommend it, and even on catch up. Adam Hills, he's homeschooling, and he's created characters for each lesson.
Okay, that's cool.
So, like, that he'll even, like, change his clothes to do, like, PE or history or something. Because then and he's given himself different names.
Yeah.
Because then it is sort of different teachers.
Yeah.
It's a way to keep interest. I really love that we've spent 10 minutes just basically saying, stay in school, kids.
Yeah. That wasn't my main
was our
point,
bit of advice.
but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think learning anything and everything you can is a good thing.
Yes, definitely.
I've never understood people who go, I don't read books. Why would I read books?
Because I'm dyslexic.
Why?
I can't read books.
Why would you watch movies? That's the same as going, why would you watch movies?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Why would you not listen to music? Why would you deny yourself something that's good and doesn't hurt people, as far as I know?
But I could say the same to you about listening to podcasts, couldn't I?
That is true. But I don't go, oh my God, I won't listen to podcasts.
That's true. Yeah, you're not.
I just go, no, I will. I fully mean it. I sincerely will. And then I never get round to it.
Sincerely, podcast is this whole big thing. Like, you've got to find an app that you like. I'm still, like, going between 3 or 4 podcast apps because they have, like, little things that annoy me in the way that the app works. And I found an app that, like, functions really nicely and I can find all my shows, but it skips. It's a pain in the butt. So, like, it is, like, weird to get into, and then you're like, don't know what to listen to. But then once you open that door, you will have podcasts on, like, 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, when this live stream ends, we're going to chat for a couple of minutes. I'm going to put a podcast on and play Fallout 76. And I will not know what's going on in Fallout 76 because I'm listening to No Such Thing as a Fish, which is the QI
See, now
podcast.
I'm still trying to finish Resident Evil 2, but I get too scared to do that. I don't know if listening to James Acaster is really going to help me fight off the zombie
I swear to God,
hordes.
Off-Menu Podcast, you will love it and it will help.
I have been this has been recommended to me a number of times.
It's very much a gateway podcast, but yeah, I mean, it's Food and James Acaster, and I'm really sorry I've forgotten the other dude's name and I feel really bad. Off-Menu podcast. This is a genuine plug from the Conversation App podcast. Off Menu Podcast is a really good show. Oh, Ed Gamble. Obviously, it's Ed Gamble. I feel like
Ed
an idiot.
Gamble.
He's really funny. James Acaster is just nuts and off the wall, and he plays a genie.
I do love James Acaster.
He's a genie waiter that lives in a bottle, and then famous people come to the restaurant, and he will conjure them food from
whatever they want,
wherever they want, whenever they want. It's a really good show, especially if you're a foodie. And they recommend specific restaurants as well. It's a good show. You'll like it.
Okay.
I would love to recommend you a podcast app as well, but I also just slagged all 4 of them off, so whatever.
We'll save that for off camera.
Hells yeah, the Off Camera podcast. So that concludes my serious advice. Do you have any more actual advice that you've been given?
Well, as I said, I've got 5. I've been doing a mum advice, and then another advice.
Sure.
So I believe we're now on mum advice because I just did the weird plant watering thing.
What a winner that was.
So this will be our first international piece of mum advice.
Don't go to Spain.
This is from Misha's mum, who lives, I believe, in Prague, Czech Republic. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yes. So
very
see,
exotic.
I'm into
You're international.
I mean,
very
we all
mysterious.
have to stay in our own houses, but her house is further away than yours.
Sure.
Her little bit of advice. It's sort of more of a wisdom nugget.
Yeah.
It's with a smile, everything is better. So I think that's saying you should smile, basically.
Smile, bitch.
Smile, you bastards.
Okay.
Which I think that's I think that's has some truth in it. If you try and smile more, then you are probably going to. I mean, just smiling is likely to make other people smile. Yeah, even if you just go into a shop or something, if you go in smiley, they will smile back. It's a very small and simple way of making, however many people's days better.
It's also important that you don't tell women on the street to smile, because that makes you a complete cuck.
Yeah, I don't understand. I think that comes from an older generation thing.
Yeah.
Sort of blokes going up, going, "Oh, please give us a smile."
Yeah,
and
their face is not your business, buddy. You got to do one.
I mean, yeah, I think that's how it originally started.
Yeah.
But then that's just a 1940s way of going, "Get your tits out, love."
Yes. Like, I'm not going to...
Which isn't good either.
They're not going to crack a smile just so you have something for the wank bank. Like,
yeah.
You've got porn for that.
And even worse is when people go, "Smile."
Yeah.
Or "Cheer up."
No.
Fuck off.
I'm a miserable piece of crap. I like
maybe you were trying to figure out where you were going, what shop you should go to next, where is the shop you're going to. Maybe you've had a bit of bad news and you're not feeling great. Maybe you're tired. Someone goes up, "Smile." Fuck you.
I have a knee-jerk reaction. Like, this very rarely happens, but like, it is a knee-jerk reaction now. If anyone tells me to cheer up, I'll be like, "Do one. I've got hepatitis." You don't know what's going on in my day.
I like the
Could have just stubbed my toe. Do one.
Yeah, it might never happen. Already has.
Yeah, I have hepatitis.
To all of them.
And they all have hepatitis. He killed the young Jedis. He murdered the younglings.
Killing younglings.
Only one of them had hepatitis.
And you know what? None of them were smiling. Would have been much better if they were. There you go. You open your busy bowl.
Seriously, if SodaStream want to sponsor us, that would be just fine.
What's in your SodaStream stream?
The Soda live stream. I mean, it's not good comedy, but it is objectively a joke. We're going to go kill ourselves.
Thank you for joining us. The show is now cancelled.
Forever. Not sorry. Just when we got the sponsorship. I think there's something to that. I think, like, cracking a smile can increase your mood, and it can like increase the moods of those around you. But also, like, I think it's really important to, if you feel bad or you legitimately don't want to smile, it's just you don't have to. Sometimes if you're feeling bad, wallowing in it is something that you really have to do, because if something bad happens, you do need to cry about it a little bit.
How you can process emotions.
Because otherwise you're just repressing it. If like you're going through life smiling because you feel like you have to, when something really awful's happened, you're not going to process that emotion. So I think like I was giving this advice to students who were really bummed out about the lockdown. Like literally when it happened, we had like a day and a half to try and get everyone's coursework recorded and work out what the plan was, and they were all bummed out because like it hadn't occurred to many of them that they weren't going to get a prom and they weren't going to see any of their best mates, and they were just going to go to college after like the world's longest summer, and like they were properly bummed out. And like the advice I ended up giving was like, if you need to cry about it, cry about it. Like
absolutely,
like repressing it isn't going to help. This is a crappy situation to be in. I completely get it. You've just literally embraced the sadness, and that sounds really dark, but like seriously, like if you feel bad about something and you're annoyed, be annoyed. Let that emotion out, because otherwise you're just going to sit in it and you're going to turn into a crotchety piece of shit like I am. Not the first time I'd sworn at them, but there we are.
No, I agree with that. Whilst smiling does make it better, while you should smile as often as you can and whenever you can, yeah, it is important to you shouldn't deny yourself other emotions because of it. You should be able to, you should do it in a controlled way. If you get angry, that does not mean that you can and have the right to throw stuff out the window and punch people.
Yeah.
You're allowed to feel angry, but you need to deal with it in a, in a bettering way.
In a way that doesn't affect other people. And yes, smiling at a cashier is a nice thing to do. If you're feeling sad, or someone in your family's died, or like something horrible's happened, you lost your job, you probably shouldn't be down the shop buying a 6-pack of Jack Daniels, in which case there's no need to smile at the cashier, because you should just be at home crying.
That's true. But if the cashier smiles at you and you weren't necessarily feeling that bad, you might smile back. It could improve your day.
Yeah.
Stop trying to be miserable, Liam.
I'm very aware that I'm crapping on all of your genuine good advice.
Hey, dude, you're crapping on mothers.
But I'm smiling, so it's fine. This is what I look like when I smile, which is
at
why
least
I
you've
don't
taken
do
that
it.
advice.
Thank you so much. No, I just think it's an important caveat to not repress bad emotions, but in general, day to day, yes, sometimes cracking a smile's nice. Sometimes.
I think positive attitude is good, but yeah, sometimes you need to feel a bit shit.
Do I make it dark or do I not make it dark?
Speaking of shit, where's your advice?
Do I make it dark or do I not make it dark? Because one of these is a little bit dark.
Let me just see what...
It's dark, but it's good advice.
Checking what...
I swear to God, if you're checking Pokemon, I'm going to leave you.
I'm checking my list.
Oh, that's all right. Is it a Pokemon list?
No, this is.
Okay.
No, I was checking... yeah, you can go dark. I've got something that can pick it up afterwards.
So, this is how to not get murdered.
I hope.
This is good advice on not getting murdered. Never go to a second location is the advice. And this comes from one of my favourite shows, Last Podcast on the Left, which is true crime, horror, whatever. If you're meeting someone that you don't know, often what the pattern that has emerged is that they will be invited to go to a second location, and it's that second location that the murder happens. Because if you want to kill someone, you're not going to invite them to the gas station and murder them there. Well, you're not going to invite them to the clearing in the forest where you can axe murder them, because they're not going to meet you in the clearing in the forest. You're going to say, hey, come meet me at this truck stop. Oh, I just saw something cool in the forest. Let's go. And that's where the murder happens. So if you don't know someone and you already happen to be in one place with them, don't then go to the next place, because that's a really good way to get an axe in your face.
Or if you do, text your mum.
Text your mum. Smile. Might never happen.
Text someone.
Yeah.
Be like, hey.
Yeah. Smile at the axe murderer and you might not get got. Or just don't go to the second location. Weirdly specific, but it is interesting that one's kind of emerged as a theme. It's literally just like, if this poor person didn't go to this second location, they wouldn't have got. So there's that one. Don't get murdered. There's
that's
some advice.
happy.
Yeah, I said I was going to make it dark, but also not getting murdered isn't dark. It's the opposite of dark. It's good.
True. I'm going to go for some advice from Mr. Scroobius Pip.
Oh, yeah?
From his song, Thou Shalt Always Kill.
That's
that
good
is
advice.
Not the advice.
Go to a second location. Kill.
Always.
Is it don't worship lost prophets?
No, the advice that I have chosen to take on that... For those who don't know, Scroobius Pip, Thou Shalt Always Kill, is very much like the old song Sunscreen, where it's music and someone giving short, simple pieces of advice.
Yeah,
Sunscreen,
wear
sunscreen, do something each day that scares you. Scroobius Pip is don't question thou shalt not question Stephen Fry. And thou shalt not quote me happy. Stuff like that. The bit that I'm focusing on is the line, thou shalt spell the word phoenix, Pheonix, not Phoenix, regardless of what the Oxford English Dictionary tells you.
I love that this is the bit you're taking away from the song. It's not thou shalt not worship lost prophets. It's
otherwise
spelling.
it would be Phoenix.
Sure.
And I'm sure that someone is going to comment going, well, actually, it's from the Greek word through the Latin in the second gendered female neutral system where the O actually has to go before that. Sod off. It's a phoenix.
Sorry, I'm writing it down. The second gendered neutral female suffix was that?
A neutral suffix, probably.
Okay. Are those actual words? Is that a thing, or are you just talking?
They are all language terms, but
okay.
They shouldn't and don't fit together.
Just well, okay, yeah, no, fine. That's good. That is good advice. How do you want me to spell Phoenix?
Pheonix. Phoenix.
Yeah, that's how you spell Phoenix. What's the wrong way of spelling Phoenix?
Phoenix. Hang on, have I spelled Phoenix wrong?
I don't know. You're supposed to be telling me. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah, Phoenix is got an O first, but it shouldn't.
How do you spell Phoebe, the name Phoebe? Is that O-E or E-O? Go on, Ben. Use your powerful Googling.
That is Phoebe, Phoebe. So that is Phoebe, Phoebe.
So Phoenix and Phoebe have E's at the opposite side. Yeah, Phoebe.
Phoebe or Phoebe is a female given name from the ancient Greek.
Yeah.
Meaning bright.
Yeah.
It is also associated with the moon.
Yep. Anything else in there?
Well, not really. It's just that Phoebe and Phoebe.
How do you spell Phoenix
So the O changes the last E into a Phoebe instead of a Phoebe.
So Phoenix, Arizona, the city is spelt with the O first.
So is the mythical creature. Apparently.
So hang on. Order of the Phoenix, the film has got the O first.
Yeah, they all have the O first. Everyone spells Phoenix Phoenix, not Pheonix.
So, but Scroobius Pip thinks it's EO. I literally can't find a single thing that says E first.
What's the meaning of the bit where Scroobius Pip says, spell Phoenix, Pheonix?
Right.
There is one answer,
Yeah.
and it's just the video. Flick to 4 minutes 24.
Okay. Are you just listening to the song now?
I was about to say, are you able to... do I pause? Can I mute you just to listen to this one bit?
You can. Shall I just talk at the audience?
Or can you hear it well enough?
I don't want to
You
try...
just talk bollocks for a minute.
I'll talk bollocks. Okay. So, I like Scroobius Pip. I interviewed, not Scroobius Pip, but his producer, Dan Lassac, it was on the LT Guitarist podcast. It was also a YouTube video, Liam Taylor Guitar on YouTube. Really fun chat about music, future of music production, beat making, all that kind of good stuff. So that's a fun listen. It's me asking Dan Lassac questions. So I'm on hold. That feels very rude. I'm going to get a picture of Ben up just to take his place. Yeah, that was a fun little chat with Dan Lassac. Here you go. Here's Ben. And Dan Lassac's podcast is really good as well. Falling Forward with Dan Lassac. We're full of podcast recommendations today. That's real bang for your buck there.
It's me.
What's you? Are you
I'm back.
Oh, good.
Yes.
I was just telling people.
Basically.
Go on.
Oh no, hang on. Yeah. It's basically because it's a bastardization of the source in Latin.
Right.
It doesn't see why it shouldn't be spelt the way that it sounds or a bit more properly.
So basically,
because language is a developing thing, and why the O should be in there when
got it
doesn't make sense.
Okay, so the fact that there's an O in there at all is the problem.
Well, I think it's the way that because it looks like phoenix.
Yeah.
Not pheonix, which is closer to phoenix.
Yes, because
so it would appear that it is simply a personal thing of him, but I agree with it, and I think that we should spell it that way.
Because the Greek, the origin, is Phoinix, and they swapped out that first I for an E, Phoenix, and then eventually the French developed into Phenix, which is more phonetic. But then somehow we've developed the phonetic version to go back to Phoenix for no reason. Okay, so the point is to do with it makes more sense to not have an O in there, I guess. But then it also makes more sense
to have the O in a different place.
Yeah, or to have an F.
So.
To have an F instead of a PH would also make more sense.
True,
yeah,
but then we're going into the development of language, and I think that that's taking it too far for 2020.
Yes.
Let's just stick with the
Let's
PH.
have an off. We shall have an off year. I was just telling people about the interview I did with Dan Lassac, Scroobius Pip's beatmaker.
Yes.
Back when Scroobius Pip did music, and back when Dan Lassac did music with Scroobius Pip. It's a fun little interview, about 40 minutes long. You can find the LT Guitarist podcast, basically most places, or find it on YouTube. It's good. We talk about muffins for a bit.
Muffins.
Yep.
Right, you'll go now that we've
my go?
established all of this spelling and stuff.
So my second piece of advice that I have found, if you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball. That's from Rip Torn's character in Dodgeball, the movie.
In Dodgeball.
Yep.
And what are we supposed to take from this?
If you can
are we
manage
supposed to take anything from this?
No, I think we can get allegorical. I think it's basically if you manage to not get hit by something big, you're much less likely to get hit by something small.
Would this be similar to the whole "don't sweat the small stuff"? Menthos. Menthos.
Menthol cigarettes.
Mentos.
Coke and Mentos.
Mentos.
Cocaine. I don't sweat the small stuff. No, I think it's if you are able to not sweat the big stuff, you will find it easier to not sweat the small stuff. So maybe practice something harder so that the easier stuff is easier.
Oh, what, like when swimmers wear tights? Some Olympic swimmers will wear tights on their arms and on their legs to increase drag. So that when they're swimming, when they don't have that, they're used to have it being pulled back. So then they're not, so they go quicker and they win more medals.
Yes. I think it's also like weightlifters who get like super, super buff in the upper body just so that they can like open doors and stuff. It's a little bit excessive, but like it is.
So they can be polite and open doors.
Yeah, it is easier for them to open doors because they're all hench. Yeah, it's the same deal as that. I'm reading too much into it. I just thought it would be funny to quote Dodgeball.
I mean, hey, you're not wrong.
Thank you.
Right, shall we go for... Let's go... Wait, we did... It's a mum advice now.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm going to save some of the silly... I'm going to save the sillier ones for last. So let's go with my own very mum.
Hello, original Sharon.
She doesn't have a... Original Sharon. She doesn't have a theme tune.
She hasn't been on the show.
She's not been on the show. She doesn't like me swearing, so we're not having her on the fucking show.
Take that.
Take that, parent.
Also, can I just say there's a really easy way to get a your own custom theme tune, and that's to support us on Patreon. Just saying. I can't remember which.
Yeah.
It is.
What tier it is, but we will write one for you.
It's one of the bigger tiers. I haven't used Patreon in a couple of days and I've forgotten how it works. But yeah, basically, Patreon, conversation. I've just replaced Ben's face with our Patreon feed. There you go.
Thanks,
you get a bonus episode for every episode we record with a guest, and you get early access to every episode.
You get a bonus question.
A whole extra question. Yeah, it's a mini episode. It's a bonus question. If you... I can't find the tiers, which is really annoying at the moment.
You get more stuff the more money you give.
Basically.
The more you support, the more shit we'll send you. And it's good shit.
You try and stop us sending you stuff in the post. Because you probably will be able to.
Because you might be able to, but you might not, so shush.
Right, go on. What does your mum say? You've lost your mic. Okay, that's great. That's
my
really
mic fell down, sorry. So it's a similar sort of vein to the tri-mum, the double mum, the grandma.
Yeah.
It's to do your best. Whatever you're doing, do your best. It's a very mum bit of advice, that really, isn't it? But she's sort of, I was trying to get hold of her for a while.
Right.
And she was the last mum bit of advice that I actually got. So this was about 2 minutes before we started the live stream.
I thought you were peeing.
Mum, quick! No, I was on the phone. I was like, Mum, quick, give me some advice. And she said, don't have any... This is genuinely what was said. She's probably going to hate me. She said, don't have any regrets. Try not to regret anything.
Okay.
Oh, no, actually, do your best. Do your best. Don't say that thing about regrets. I take that back. I was like, well...
I think
you've sort of destroyed the first bit of your advice, but I suppose you've done your best.
I think we need to get your mum on the show and like make sure that one of the questions in the hat is, what are your biggest regrets? Because there's clearly something in there that she like had managed to repress for about 30 seconds, gave you the advice and was like, oh yeah, no, the jam, I wish I didn't buy that jam that one time, so I guess that's one.
Bloody jam.
Bloody jam. Turns out it was just feet. I like do your best. It is the kind of thing where like, Mum, I don't want to do the thing. I don't want to get dressed. I don't want to have to do the thing. And I just do your best. I was like, yeah, but I still don't want to.
Well, this is something that I have seen. I can't remember where I read this.
Yeah.
It might have been on Facebook. It might have been an article I was reading. I don't know. But is it particularly for depression?
Yeah.
and people who feel lethargic and they feel that they can't do anything. Even doing a bit of it is good.
Yes.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So I remember people saying that they feel like they need to eat. They should eat a sandwich, but they don't have the effort to make the sandwich. They don't have that in them. You don't have to make the sandwich.
Yeah.
Have a couple of slices of bread and some ham.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's essentially a sandwich, but you've not had to make yourself a sandwich. If you don't feel like you can have a shower, maybe don't have a wash or anything like that, but stand under the water for a bit and dry up.
Yeah. Just spit on your feet a couple times.
Wash your feet in the sink.
Yeah, all
maybe.
that.
But, that is better than not doing it at all.
Yes.
You've got a little bit, you've improved, even though you've only necessarily done 50% of the task, the task has still been completed and you are better than you were.
I think also getting started on something helps you to do the rest of it. So like with I'm finding it hard to kind of exercise during the lockdown because I used to go to the gym like 2 or 3 times a week. Can't do that anymore because I'll just die. So like I'm worried about doing that, but then I found that if I manage to convince myself to just turn the app on that I use, I will then get into the spirit of things and like it won't be so hard. So like getting started does kind of get you to do it. So like in the sandwich example, sometimes just walking into the kitchen will allow you to do the whole task, or just convincing yourself to do some of it. But you're right, doing something is better than doing nothing. I think that's great if you're doing homework or like a big essay or something, or like just a big pile of work. When you look at the amount of stuff you have to do, it's so daunting that you just don't want to do any of it. But the thing is, those are all only things that you have to do once. Like each step is
they're all
something
their
you have to
own
do once.
tiny little tasks.
Yeah, if you separate it into tiny things and you'd be like, I just don't feel like it today, but I can check this reference, I can check this quote, I can watch a documentary about this other thing that doesn't require effort. Like there are ways to work towards things that don't require a huge amount of effort, even if you are feeling crappy about it. I feel like we've put a lot of good advice onto your mum phoning it in there. But
I feel like I wonder
do.
I wonder if that little bit goes back to the first bit, from the Jade Adams video, the make your bed thing.
Yes, totally.
It's a very small task, but but you've done it.
Yeah.
That's the first, before you've even got dressed. Boom, you've done something.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
Sweet.
This is my last one.
Thanks, Mum. You're never coming on the show.
But you can have your own theme tune.
If you give me money.
Yep.
We can sing a song for when you're not on the show.
This is my last piece of advice that I've found, and it's from a Batman film.
Which Batman film?
Well, this is Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay, so it's from the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight. The Dark Knight.
Yeah. If you're good at something...
Sorry.
Me too. If you're good at something, never do it for free. It's a very good Joker quote, that.
That is a very good Joker quote. I was worried when you said, it's the Joker, what you were going to say.
I like this quote a lot because it's especially in creative industries, like you get asked to do stuff for exposure all the time, but you get to a certain point where like, I got to wear trousers today, not exposure. Can you give me some trousers? It's tricky when you want to get started in a creative enterprise, or you want to do something long term, to not find yourself doing stuff for free. And I think especially in the first instance, you can get a lot of opportunities by doing stuff for free if you're in a financial situation to do that. But long term, yeah, absolutely. If you're good at something, you're good at it because you've worked at it and you've put the effort in and you've become an expert at it or whatever. So yeah, absolutely, don't do stuff for free.
Yeah, I
number one,
saw
people will take advantage of that.
Sorry, go.
I was just going to say, people are going to take advantage of that, and then the next time you want to do something for money, you're not going to be able to because you did it for free the last time.
Yeah, that one time you did it for someone. Yeah.
Yes, but they were famous, you see. That's why I did that.
Yeah. I saw a thing that's people going, oh, why should I pay you to do this? It's only taken you half an hour. I was like, yeah, but it took me 15 years practicing so I could do it in half an hour. It's the 15 years to get to that point.
Yeah, I can write a piece of music in 10 minutes.
It's not the half hour.
Yeah, I can write a piece of music in 10 minutes, but like I couldn't do that You've not done the 15 years of like learning how to write music that fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I quite like that one.
I can sit with you and at points go, and it should go da-da-da-da at this bit, or da-da, and you go, that's nice, Ben, have another
Eat a biscuit. We like biscuits. We're a biscuit podcast.
We do like biscuits.
Yeah.
We're the biscuit boys.
We're the bubbly biscuit boys.
That was going to be the title for this show.
The Biscuit Boys.
Conversation hadn't worked. Biscuit Boys.
Yeah, so I thought that was a surprisingly helpful quote from Heath Ledger's Joker there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, how many more have you got?
Well, I have 4.
Jesus. You really put in the hours.
Well, to be honest, one I'm going to just slide in to go with basically what you've just said.
Yeah.
This is from Game Grumps.
Nice.
Shout out to Game Grumps. I know they don't watch this, but shout out to people who do watch the Game Grumps and this.
You couldn't possibly know they're not watching. You couldn't possibly know that.
Okay, Grumps or Grumps affiliated businesses, let us know if you do listen to this. If you don't listen to it, also let us know.
Either way, hi.
It's very easy. Yeah. How's it going? This sort of slots into what you've been saying. I think this was one of the questions they answered when we went to go and see Ready Player 3.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
And someone asked like how they got, what advice they would give to people who wanted to get to a position where they were. Yeah. And it was just work at what you love. The thing that you love doing. Pour yourself into it. Work really hard at it, and if you're lucky and it works, then you could possibly do that as a job.
Yeah.
But if not, if you work really hard at something you love and it doesn't work, at least you've spent the time doing something that you love.
Yes, that's
so that's not quite time wasted. You've still got that enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Even if you may not have the thing that you wanted to come of it, you've still spent the time pleasantly.
I think the passion aspect is really important, and we don't talk about that a lot in professional creative industries or any industries really. Like, again, to draw an example from my own life and career, like the only reason I get to go on BBC radio and talk about music and how we learn about music and how we play music is because I have all of the, like, I don't have all of the, but I have a real interest in like every aspect of music and creativity. So like I'm drawing from like 15 years of different pockets of information because I've been fascinated by it for that long. If you want to be known as a wellness guru, but just because your ego demands that, like you're not going to be able to have an extended conversation on that topic because you're just talking about stuff what you reckon rather than getting into the fields of like, I don't even know. It's
learning it.
Like, yeah, actually learning about the subject.
Knowing stuff about it.
So, like, I think that is really important to, like, find what it is you're passionate about and then just get balls deep. Like, really get all up in that subject.
Try and find every little bit. This is, again, going back to the learning stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Find out as much as you can about the stuff that you love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, you know, there's jobs in fields that you care about that you don't even know exist.
Have you heard of podcasting? Holy hell. Like, yeah, you can do anything.
But yeah, I watched Rocket Man last night.
Oh yeah.
Very good movie. But it's sort of like there was the guy who was like, oh yeah, you just sing the songs. I make $87 million a year. Because he's going around and doing all the other behind the scenes stuff. There's so much behind the scenes stuff.
Yes.
Granted, that character was a dick, but that's also made me. After all this is finished, I will be going back on the stage.
Yeah.
I wish to tread the boards once more.
That's
because,
cool.
as you were saying about passion, it's something that I've really, really missed doing.
Yeah.
And that I care about, and that I love. And loved and everything, so why the fuck not?
Yeah, totally. Good for you.
Pour yourself into the thing. Do the things that you like, because otherwise you're just sat there being miserable, no matter how much smiling you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's
I like
really
that
good advice.
I'm trying very hard to work all of the previous bits of advice in with the ones that we're discussing now.
Cyclical. It's good. Yeah.
Right.
If you get hit by a car, you can have a job getting hit by balls.
Yeah, you might be able to get hit by a ball.
One day, if you're passionate about it.
Pornography.
Oh, no.
Pour yourself into what you love.
A vagina?
And pour your love onto others.
I think I've seen that one.
Right.
I love how we take a sincere point and we just shit all over it.
Yep. Right, this is my second and final international mum advice. This is from the mother of my friend Alex Rando. She's Italian, so I call her mum Mamma Mia.
Hello, Alex's mum.
No, you have to say
don't give a shit.
Ciao, Mamma Mia.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
All right then. You don't have to, but fine.
I'm smiling.
This is a 3-part advice. Be independent, because you don't need a man to enjoy yourself. Well, okay, enjoy yourself. I put that. You don't need a man to fulfill your.
Left at the altar, was she? Jilted lover. Is that what happened?
No, I didn't leave her at the altar. I mean, what? No.
I left her in the car park.
I think sort of you don't need to be with someone to be happy. If your happiness and your worth does not seem on I'm 30 and I'm not married, I don't have kids or anything like that. That doesn't make you any less of a person. That's not what you have to do. You can be if we were to single or unwed or whatever.
If we were to paraphrase the world's leading drag queen / fracking supporter, if you ain't gonna love yourself, how in hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Who is this person?
RuPaul.
Is it RuPaul?
It is RuPaul.
Likes fracking?
Oh yeah, funding all the fracking.
That way, where you're putting the water into the earth to get the gas out.
That thing that's ruining the planet. RuPaul really supports that, or financially. I don't know if they necessarily give a shit about what it does, but they're funding it. Just worth knowing. Just a bit of fun.
Well, I've never actually watched an episode of RuPaul, but
it's good. It's really good.
RuPaul.
It's a good show. It's just that you should probably learn where your money's going if you've got money.
Like Chick-fil-A.
I know where all my money is because this is it. I know where all my money's going because there's none of it. It's that 5p. I've just lost it.
That 5p that you weren't showing to the camera.
Oh no, I'm showing it to this camera. I wasn't showing it to this camera. I should sell one of my webcams. That's how you get money.
You get 5p. You could invest that in fracking.
I should invest it in fracking. Everyone's talking about it.
We don't have Chick-fil-A in this country, but for our non-UK listeners, I think it's just America that has Chick-fil-A.
I believe so.
Don't.
Because
they give a fuck ton of money to LGBT, basically anti-human rights campaigns.
Right. Oh yes.
So,
don't listen to Graham. Don't listen to Graham Linehan. Same reason.
Oh yeah, Graham Linehan is a dick.
Oh, did I take? This is like a complete tangent, but it's worth it.
Sorry, yeah, just Graham Linehan did IT Crowd, Father Ted.
Yep.
Black Books, all really great TV shows. Unfortunately, he is a transphobic piece of whore.
He really is. Laura found on Twitter someone, I can't remember who the person is because I didn't learn that information in the first place, but basically they worked out the point where they think Graham Linehan turned into a wrong-un, and it's in the IT crowd. I think it's the Internet in a Box episode. Do you remember the B plot for the Internet in the Box episode?
Yes, Douglas falls in love with a woman who was she's a transgender woman.
Yeah.
And then
she used to be a man.
It's a very funny episode because he thinks she said that she was from Iran.
Yeah.
She said that she was a man. It's funny, and then they end up having this really over the top fist fight.
It's a good episode. That joke was a bit. I remember watching it when it came out and thinking, that's a bit of a weak punchline. Oh, okay.
It is a bit of a weak punchline, but it's the secondary plot bit.
Do you want to know something? That was it.
Go on.
That was how he fell in with all the wrong-uns, because he was criticised publicly on Twitter or whatever. People were just like, that wasn't very funny, that was a bit insensitive, you probably could have done better. And rather than going, yeah, fair enough, I'll try harder, he dug in with the, no, that was a good joke. And then he went down the rabbit hole of transphobia and people who supported the joke, who were basically, in general, bad people because they were transphobes as well. So they were like, ha ha ha, well, she has a dick, whatever. Like, that is how he fell down into the rabbit hole and is now actively working to shut down charities for people that work with children with gender identity issues. Fuck that guy. And it's all because of that one joke that wasn't very good.
It wasn't very good, but I didn't think that it was intrinsically transphobic.
I don't think it was. I think it was just he dug himself in, and in doing that, he kind of.
Oh no, his reaction to it, yes, dickhead.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can't choose what offends people and what doesn't. But I personally saw it as I don't know. She was a woman through the whole thing.
Yeah.
The fighting scenes I thought was funny because it was so over the top.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's one of them things where like it's okay, it's objectively a joke, it's just that it could have been funnier, especially now, like people aren't going near issues of transphobia and humour because not even because it's a touchy subject, it's just because we know more about it now. You can't be funny because we're all a little bit better informed, and actually it's not okay. It's all about punching up and punching down, isn't it? Like, it's not okay to make fun of an actual serious issue that people are killing themselves over just so that you can like do your hot 5-minute stand-up routine. Like, it's not okay.
Yeah, that's just shit comedy I normally find.
But like back then we sort of weren't as well informed, so you could get away with making jokes like that, but it just wasn't objectively the best joke in the world. And rather than saying, okay, I'll try harder, or okay, I happen to find it funny, sorry you didn't, he really dug in on it.
Wow.
And that is why
a very, very sad story.
It is. Was there another bit to Mamma Mia's advice?
There is.
This might not make it into the podcast. I don't know.
Who knows? Yes. Mamma Mia's advice point 2.
Yeah.
Travel and explore. Travel the world and explore the bits you go to, which I think is.
Yeah.
Very good positive reinforcement for the mother of someone who has left their home country. I mean, she's still there now because she went to visit during lockdown. Well, no, just before the lockdown happened, rather, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2 days before all this shit started, she went home. She went to Sicily for a week. And she's still there.
Long week. Very long week.
And I think that this... I'm hoping that this was from Mamma Mia. It may have just been Alex adding it on. Always salt the water before cooking pasta.
I mean, that's just good advice. That's just that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Gastronomy advice from people who know their pasta.
Yeah, man.
Right, would you like my last miscellaneous bit of advice or my last mother bit of advice?
Sorry, did you say
I'm
my
giving-
last Mussolini advice?
Miscellaneous.
He also knew his pasta.
And lampposts.
I think we've got to go miscellaneous and then mother advice to keep it along the theme. Unless the mother advice is less funny than the other one. Up to you. Your call. Dealer's choice.
No. I think we've got it well.
Okay.
My last bit of miscellaneous advice: don't pick it.
Whether it's noses or scabs.
Because
or Pokemon.
I had a fight with a tomato the other day. Well, not really. I was cutting up a tomato. I was being very impressed with my knife skills that I have started to hone and sharpen.
That's great.
How I had my fingers as the shield. It was all proper. It was lovely. Chop, 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 chop. My thumb hadn't got the memo that once you've moved the tomato, you should move your thumb back to continue chopping.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like a slow motion thing. You know when you drop something and you know it's going to break?
Yep.
And time slows? That happened whilst the knife was halfway through my thumb, which kind of sucked. So, just for you.
Look at that.
I got a big old chunk of...
no.
Got a huge chunk of thumb missing. And,
Did it taste good?
I didn't eat it.
Did you not?
No.
Okay.
But, you know, it's... I shouldn't pick it, because it makes it worse.
That's very true.
Just in the sense of all scabs, people go, oh, you might get a scar. I don't care that much about scars, personally. What I do care is opening my phone or picking something up and then going, fucking ow.
Yeah, sure.
So you want that to heal very quickly, so don't pick it, because it'll take longer to heal, it'll hurt more, might get infected. It's a silly thing to do. And now my final piece of motherly advice, the final piece of advice for this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
No.
This is from a fan of the show and longtime friend of me, one master Jason Phillips.
Hi, Jason.
Shout out to Jason. Yeah, I've known him since, I think, like reception, which is the bits before primary school, and I know his mother. And the advice that she has given...
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of follow-up to this.
Okay. I hope there would be.
Do what you want, because you're going to anyway. Jason has sent this to me, and we either feel that it's very deep, whereas you're sort of going, do what you want, because you're going to anyway. Whether you choose the thing that you're not sure whether you want to do or not.
Yeah.
If you choose to do that, you've done what you want. If you don't do it, then you've chosen... You wanted to not do it. So whether you do it or you don't do it, that's your choice.
Yeah.
So that's what you were going to... Whatever you're going to do, you're going to do that anyway.
You run that past me again.
So say I wanted to go... This is possibly going back to the do one thing that scares you.
Yeah.
Say you wanted to go to London on your own.
Sure.
But you were umming and ahhing about it.
Yeah, that sounds
and
like
you said,
me.
do I go to London?
Yeah, maybe.
And someone just goes, well, do what you want.
Yeah.
Because if you want to go to London, you're going to go to London.
Sure.
If you don't want to go to London, you're not going to go to London. So whether you go there or not, you're doing what you want.
Okay.
So possibly it's a very deep thing like that.
Yeah,
saying that you have already chosen, you know what you want to do, so just do what you want to do.
Okay.
Or
Mm.
she might just be talking bollocks.
Yeah, like, Mum, can you give us some advice from a mate's podcast? Do whatever.
I will read the exact message.
That'd be great.
Mum's advice was this. Do what you want, because you're going to anyway. That could be a deep philosophic piece of wisdom, or a reminder from her that I'm a lost cause. I haven't decided which.
Wow, dude. Well, as long as you're passionate about it, I don't think it matters.
His original guess for the advice that he would have been given would be stop smoking weed.
Sure, yeah, okay.
But instead we've got
Turns out she
do
didn't.
what you want because you're going.
Turns out she didn't know about the weed, I guess.
Maybe she just didn't think it should be mentioned on the podcast.
Meh.
But these are things from many years ago.
That's cool. That's a lot of advice.
If anyone wanted to smoke anything, then do what you want because you're going to anyway.
That's very true. That's very true. That was good. That's a lot of advice there. Do you, if you were to only impart one of those pieces of advice to listeners, to the future generations, which one of those bits of advice would you pass on? And also, which is like the weakest? We'll do one of each.
The weakest is definitely water the soil and not the plant.
Thank God. Thank God you said that.
Because come on. I would be somewhere between either grandma's, the double mum, the tri mum, best life, do your best for yourself and others. You know, everyone deserves good things. Do your best to help them out and yourself. Or I have to say, I am a fan of the do what you want because you're going to anyway.
Yeah.
Because then it feels like you don't have to stress out so much about it because this is what was going to happen. You know, almost a predetermined thing that you have control over. I quite like
totally.
that.
I think my weakest one... don't eat yellow snow. You should be eating snow anyway.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I think my strongest one is don't go to a second location because, like, as much as it is important to be passionate about the things you do as a career, and much as it is important to educate yourself and not get screwed over by Bethesda again, I think the most important thing is to not get axe murdered in the face. Because if you get axe murdered in the face, you can't do any of that good stuff. Don't go to a second location. It's good advice.
Don't go to a second location. Don't get dead.
Don't get dead. Unless, I mean, do what you want.
Dead.
Do what you want. If you want to be dead, maybe just smile instead. How about that? Don't listen to us. I mean, do listen to the podcast, but don't act on any of what we say. For the love of God.
Advice. Listen to the advice of others.
Listen to Scroobius Pip. Just stick on a Scroobius Pip album. Look at his beard.
And spell Phoenix properly.
Yeah, whichever way it was we decided that was is what you've got to do.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, lads and lasses, all of you, between whatever you are and whatever you face.
What's the matter
Love each
you?
other and wash your hands.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Be proud of yourself. Love yourself. Take our advice. Take other advice. Don't take any advice. That's my advice.
Are we ending the podcast or the live stream?
Both.
Okay, that's fine. Although
we love you.
Okay, that's lovely.
Be good. Wash your hands. Take care of each other.
This episode becomes a podcast next week. This episode goes out on, get my calendar,
next week.
May 31st at midday. If you're listening to the podcast, you can go find the live stream, which will undoubtedly be 2 hours long compared to this, 40-minute, hour-long podcast that you're listening to. So if you want all the extra stuff...
my microphone will fall off 6 times.
That is how that will happen. That's something that will happen. So, go listen to the live stream. If you're listening to the podcast, go watch the live stream. Whatever you're doing, it's very important that you follow us on Twitter at Convo Hat Podcast. You should also find us on Patreon because you can give us money. And I think that's a good thing to do. Convo Hat Podcast is for no reason on TikTok because we are down with the kids. Don't read into that. And don't buy Bethesda games unless they're available through Steam. There you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. We're going to go. Shall we just put the sketches on and then disappear?
Yeah,
like we normally do.
Enjoy some sketches.
Thanks
Love
so
each
much.
other and yourselves. Take care, my darlings.
Call your mum. I don't know.
She worries.
She does worry. Tell her not to worry.
I think it's good. Actually, no, hang on. Before all this finishes,
right?
To speak to your mum, listeners. Speak
Sure.
to your mum, your or your friends and ask them for a bit of advice. If they give good ones, go and put it on the Facebook page. We might mention you next.
I want to hear your good advice. Get advice from your parents, especially if it's terrible advice, because then we can laugh at them for being silly boomers. Silly boomers.
Silly boomers.
Take it easy,
See you later,
gents.
bitches.
Bye.
Bye.
No!
Will you take a Mount Splashmore?
No.
Will you take a Mount Splashmore?
No.
Will you take us to 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 Mount Splashmore? Will you take us to Mount
If I take you, will you two shut up and quit bugging me?
Yeah, of course. Well. Will you take us to Mount Splashmore?
Yes.
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 Thanks, Dad.
Robes.
Check.
Check. Lovecraftian plush.
Check.
Summoning circle.
Check.
That's stupid.
It's magic. You're stupid. Sod off.
Okay.
Non-diegetic music. How would I know? Right. Portal to hell.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Are we sure that this is the right thing to do?
Absolutely. We've got to do something for Halloween.
I'm pretty committed at this point.
We've got the robes and everything.
Yeah, man.
Portal to hell, then.
Portal to hell.
How do we
I'm
portal
not
to hell?
entirely sure.
Is it
tweak
on?
this slightly?
What is that?
That is just. Look, hang on, where's that diagram gone?
You had a list, didn't you?
Yeah, no, the list is over there, but we've got everything on the list.
Have you put batteries in it?
You don't put batteries in a portal, Ben.
Well, how else is it meant to go, Ben?
What? That's messed up.
So shiny. It's not what I expected.
I expected a lot more fire and lava.
I was expecting Dante's Inferno, but it's residential.
Is that a cathedral?
This is the Humber Bridge.
Hang on. Okay, so, bad news, it's not hell.
That's kind of good, but where it...
Good news,
It's Hull, isn't it?
it's Hull. We opened a portal to Hull.
Ben. Why? Ben, god damn it.
It's an easy mistake if you... There's an E in the... in the U. That hurt like Hull.